Fear leads to scarcity, but faith leads to generosity. Today, on 2 Minute Tuesday, what do a bag of raisins and a 2-year-old have to teach us about generosity? Let's roll the bumper. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to yet another 2 Minute Tuesday. If you watch this video all the way to the very end, there will be a special announcement about an upgrade that 2 Minute Tuesday is getting starting this week, today, or tomorrow, depending on how you look at it. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock and talk about what a bag of raisins and my 2-year-old daughter has to teach us about generosity, especially in an age of fear and anxiety. So the other day, my wife and I were giving our daughter raisins. My daughter has just discovered that she absolutely loves raisins, and she was running around with a cup of raisins. Now, if you know anything about eating too many raisins, you'll know that we have to limit the amount of raisins our 2-year-old eats for certain health reasons. And so she knows that she gets a little cup of raisins, and that's all she gets. And she was down to her last 4 raisins, and she looked at them and she looked at me, and then she came over and she gave me a raisin. And then she looked at the raisins that she had left, and she went over to her mom and she gave her mom a raisin. Man, in that moment, I said, here's a kid who knows how to share. She was down to her last raisins, and I mean, she knows, listen, like, that's it, that's all she gets. And she was still willing to share them. And I think in an age of fear and anxiety, it is so easy to go toward a scarcity mindset. That is to say, I need to provide for me. And if I get what I need, that must mean that you don't get what you need. Or if you get what you need, that means that I'm not gonna get what I need. And so we default to this scarcity mindset of living. And here's this 2-year-old who just gives us this perfect image of what it means to live inside of a scarcity mindset. Like, she's got 4 raisins, like that's it, that's all she's gonna get. And yet she still wanted to share her last raisins with her mom and her dad. It's a beautiful image of what the gospel calls us to, because the gospel calls us to not be afraid. Over and over, Jesus and others say, do not fear. And fear leads to scarcity, but faith leads to generosity. And we, as followers of Jesus, if you call yourself a follower of Jesus, have this incredible opportunity to be generous. When a whole lot of people are worrying, we have an opportunity to give away and to love and to serve our cities when a whole lot of people are living in fear. And so here's my challenge for you. I know we've gone over our 2 minutes, but go to the grocery store, buy just enough food for yourself, and then buy a little extra for a neighbor. Take it to their house, play a little game of ding dong ditch, ring the doorbell, knock on their door, leave them a gift just sitting there with a little note that says, hey, I'm thinking about you. Because in an age where everybody's worried about providing for themselves, followers of Jesus have this unique opportunity to be generous and to give things away. So let's be bold, let's be generous, let's not default to scarcity, and let's give away as much as we can in a day where there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of worry. So there's your 2 minutes, there's your challenge for this week. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. So if you've stuck around this long, here is the update for 2 Minute Tuesdays. Starting today, 2 Minute Tuesday will now be called 2 Minutes Today, because for many of us, we are stuck in our homes. And for many of us, I know I'm this way, I just can't take my eyes off the news. Like, I turn on the CBC, which is Canadian News Network, and Global, another Canadian news network, or CNN, or like whatever it is that you're watching. It's just so easy to stay glued to the narrative of pandemic, fear, anxiety, worry, uncertainty. And now listen, it's important to stay up to date and informed on what's going on, especially in your local city and your local areas. But man, I just would love to be able to provide a little bit of encouragement for you wherever you find yourself. So while we're all stuck, like I'm at home in my basement where I record 2 Minute Tuesdays and some of our other YouTube stuff, I would love to be able to provide 2 minutes today. That is 2 minutes to help encourage you and to help challenge you and to help rally us all together and say, listen, this is not a time for fear and anxiety. That's something that the gospel sets us free from. So let's explore some ideas of faith and culture, the Bible, and what it means to live as followers of Jesus today in our present situation and circumstances. So for the very first time, I would invite you back here tomorrow for another 2 minutes today, where I take way too long to talk about something that could be covered in exactly 2 minutes. I hope to see you there.